Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. My name is Jerry Miller. Good afternoon to you. The weekend around the corner. Thanksgiving, 6 days away, right? And have you thought about this? It is Friday, November 20th. So we are approximately 35 days away from Christmas, which makes me smile. Again, welcome to the show. We're live in the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille Network. Peter Castiglione will join us in studio. He is a good friend of this show. I'm a huge fan of Peter. His daughter Lulu, I believe, is coming as well. We'll spend 20 minutes or so talking with Peter about Maya Restaurant and his friends and colleagues in the restaurant industry and the brave new world that is surviving winter if you're a restaurateur in this world that is COVID-19. We will also welcome Candice Vanderlyn to the program. She's going to join us via Skype. She's a real estate agent. She's an affordable housing advocate. She knows condominiums inside and out. I believe she sits on the Turtle Creek condo board. So she has a lot of various perspectives and different outlooks that she can offer us on today's program, whether it's the real estate market, whether it's affordable housing, whether it's just Charlottesville and Central Virginia in totality. We'll welcome Candice to the show in about 11 minutes on the very program. We got news we got to get to from City Hall. We got news to get to from the chef and restaurant world in Richmond. A spotlight on a basketball player that I think is going to be very, very good for Tony Bennett. His name is Sam Hauser. We don't know much of him because he's a transfer from Marquette, but he is a Naismith finalist right now for Player of the Year from a college basketball standpoint. So we'll talk Sam Hauser. We'll talk what Carrie Rock and what his beautiful wife Colleen are doing right now. They are doing a winter wear drive that is just absolutely fantastic. And I'm very excited to spotlight their endeavors on the program. So a lot we're going to cover. We'll talk some college football. The University of Virginia has a chance to go to 4-4, which we're very excited about. Virginia Tech is at Pittsburgh at Heinz Field over the weekend. And folks, Liberty, yes, that Liberty from Lynchburg, is traveling to NC State for what could be the big-time college football matchup in the ACC. Liberty is 8-0, and they're facing a Wolfpack football team that's a 3.5-point favorite. Candace, we will reach out to you in about 9 minutes. I saw that you tried to Skype us. We will reach out to you in 9 minutes via Skype. The first story on today's program is got to be what's happening at Charlottesville City Hall. We have yet more shakeups from a leadership standpoint in City Hall here in the Charlottesville Downtown Mall. The newly hired Charlottesville Neighborhood Development Service Director, he just took another job in Prince William County. City Hall in Charlottesville is also looking for a human resource director. So someone who legitimately was just hired for NDS, Neighborhood Development Services, pieced out of Charlottesville and said, I don't want anything to do with CVille. I'm going to Prince William County instead. Folks, I'm going to, and Nolan Stout did a really good job in the Daily Progress outlining this. I'm going to relay to you, since August 12th, 2017, the turnover and the attrition Charlottesville City Hall has experienced. Are you ready for this? This is a laundry list of attrition and turnover at City Hall in Charlottesville. Since August 12th, 2017, 8/12, a day that will live in infamy in Charlottesville history, the city has had 5 new city councilors. The city has gone through 2 city managers, 2 human resource directors. The city lost a police chief. The city lost a communications director, a clerk of council, a registrar, a parks and recreations director, a city attorney, a public works director, 3 deputy city managers, 1 fire chief, 1 manager of the Office of Human Rights, and 1 director of Charlottesville Area Transit. The city is also on its 2nd interim city manager since the rally. Now we have John Blair. I love John Blair. Someone tell John Blair I said this. I think John Blair is phenomenal. We also had Mike Murphy as an interim city manager. That's a shocking amount of turnover. 5 new city councilors, 2 city managers, 2 human resource directors, a new police chief, a new communications director, a new clerk of council, a new registrar, a new parks and recreations director, a new city attorney, a new public works director, 3 deputy city managers, a new fire chief, a new manager of the Office of Human Rights, a new director of Charlottesville Area Transit, and 2 interim city managers. These are 6-figure jobs. These are not bottom-of-the-barrel jobs. These are jobs where the people are making $150,000 or more, The attrition and turnover is startling. Why is it happening? Are you wondering that? I'm wondering. Why is the turnover or the attrition happening in 6-figure jobs in Charlottesville? Phenomenal benefits. Phenomenal holidays and days off. 6-figure jobs. It should raise an eyebrow at the very least. We're taxpayers. We're paying the salaries. That's a hell of a lot of attrition. All right, remember, Candice Vanderlyn is going to join us in about 11 minutes on this program. If you're a fan of restaurants, you know I'm also a fan of restaurants on this program. Jason Alley is in the news from Richmond. Now, Jason Alley is a name you may know in Charlottesville. Why you may know Jason Alley in Charlottesville is because he opened a restaurant in Stonefield called Pasture. Okay, and Jason Alley is one of the most talented chefs in Richmond, Virginia. He is now running a consultant business where he's helping other restaurateurs open their respective businesses. He tried to take the 2.0 version, the second iteration of Pasture, a restaurant that had tremendous success in Richmond, and open it in Stonefield. He then changed it to Pasture Q. He pivoted the model and tried to make it barbecue. Now Pasture is Burger Batch in Stonefield. This guy just got hired by the City of Richmond and Mayor Levar Stoney to be a provisional policy advisor. Jason Alley, the chef and the restaurateur, is essentially a liaison now between the City of Richmond and restaurant owners in the city of RVA. I think it's brilliant for Levar Stoney in Richmond to do this. They have a man who has cut his teeth in kitchens all over Richmond, who is friends with so many restaurateurs, who is openly waging a battle of sobriety, and he's winning that battle. He is now hired by the City of Richmond to essentially be a liaison between public policy and local government and the small business owners and the small mom and pop restaurants in Richmond. Charlottesville needs something like this. We need a talented chef or restaurant owner to some way be a liaison between Richmond, between Charlottesville and local government, between the restaurant owners and City Hall. Now you're going to say, how are they finding the money to hire Jason Alley in a budget deficit? Well, they're paying the guy. It's an interim position. It may turn full-time next year, but they're paying the guy $8,000. And that $8K is coming from CARES Act money that had to be allocated. Levar Stoney said, let's take a portion of this CARES Act money that's coming from the federal government, $8K. Let's give it to a guy like Jason Alley. Let's give him a cubicle and a desk and clear responsibilities. And his responsibilities are to go face to face with his friends, his colleagues, the people he used to be shoulder to shoulder in the kitchen with, get their perspective on how to survive the winter months and how to make it through COVID so we don't lose all the restaurants and the jobs that come with it in Richmond, and then report that information to Richmond leadership, who then can take that information and roll it out into public policy or innovative thinking that can help the restaurateurs in Capital City. That's brilliant. That is what we need here. Instead of a certain city councilor using her social media to blast the restaurants, we should have a chef or a restaurant owner working in conjunction with city council. This man, this woman can be reporting to the city manager or to city council and saying, this is what Christian's saying. This is what Peter's saying. This is what Brian Hellenberg is saying, what Vincent's saying, what Dean Maupin's saying, what Catherine Matthews is saying. This is what Adam and Matty Hart are saying. We don't have that communication. Right now, the communication is happening through the Restaurant Lodging Tourism Association. And oftentimes it's happening via email or phone call or speaking in front of council in a Zoom setting. But the intimacy, the one-on-one relationship that can be established from a Jason Alley, a guy who's a tried and true chef, a man who's owned restaurant businesses in Richmond, even one in Charlottesville, going back to city council in Richmond or the mayor and saying, this is what they're experiencing, here's what I suggest we do. We're missing that in Charlottesville and in Albemarle County. Our leadership doesn't know firsthand what the restaurant owners, the line cooks, the hosts, the busboys, the waiters, the dishwashers, the expos, they don't know firsthand what they're going through. Get a little CARES Act money and carve out a liaison position between not only the restaurants and city leadership, but live music and city leadership, and weddings and events and city leadership. 3 niches and areas that have been ravaged and raped by COVID more than any other. Candice Vanderlyn in about 1 minute on this program. 2 positive items that I need to get to quickly. Sam Hauser, this transfer from Marquette, we have not seen him play in a UVA uniform. He's on a watch list for preseason player of the year. One of 50 people on this watch list. Not only is he on a watch list for preseason player of the year in the nation, he was picked preseason player of the year. He was second. The kid from North Carolina, who's super talented, was preseason player of the year number 1. This guy was picked second by the ACC media. This dude is a beast. And this Virginia basketball team is freaking loaded. I just want to see the season play. I'm not even asking to be in the stands. I just want to see the season played because we have a nasty basketball team here in Charlottesville. And one more positive item of the notebook, the Do Good CVille Winter Wear giveaway is going on right now at the Sprint Pavilion. Everything is free. Do you have those photos on screen? This is Kerry Rock and his wonderful wife, Colleen. Kerry's come on this program. This is why I love Charlottesville. Look at the screen now. Look how much stuff, winter wear they have. This is the Sprint Pavilion, and the amount of free jackets and scarves and winter wear they have literally goes the entire width of the Sprint Pavilion, and it's free from a first-come, first-served standpoint. That's the Charlottesville I love. Carrie and Colleen Rock, well done. Do Good CVille, amazing work. That's the Charlottesville I love. That's what we try to celebrate on the I Love CVille show, the best of Charlottesville, the positivity. We don't focus on the police blotter. We talk about stories that matter to the community, and we chat with real people that matter to this community. And I think you're about to see one in Candice Vanderlyn on this very program. Judah, I'm reaching out to Candace now. Peter Castiglione in studio with hopefully Lulu. Candace, we have you on the line. Nice, you just got that camera turned on. How are you, Candace?
I'm good. I'm super nervous, but I'm good.
I think you're going to do extremely well on this.
Excellent.
Why don't we do this? Before we talk shop, how about an introduction to you, Candace, what you're all about, who you are, personal hobbies and interests.
Okay. You mean like start now?
Sure. Yeah. What are you all about, Candace? Give us some insight.
So I am a full-time professional realtor.
Very nice.
Here in the Charlottesville area. I've been doing this professionally as a realtor for about a decade now, and grew up in a very large construction family. Coming from, in living on job sites, always visiting them. I love infrastructure and development and building. So I kind of grew up doing all the trades with my family. So it's really important to me as a realtor to be able to provide my clients with the best insight in how to keep their home healthy and safe, especially coming from a single parent household. and a very lower class income household, to be able to know how to do repairs and home maintenance, how to appropriately obtain the needs and means and materials to be able to keep a home healthy and safe. So all of that is really why I became a realtor, and blending customer service with real estate and home buying and selling.
Well, I will say this, and I'm gonna embarrass you a little bit. Your reputation speaks for itself. Your commitment to your clients speaks for itself. Your name, your brand, your reputation is all top notch. I sincerely mean that. When we were promoting that you were coming on the show, we heard from a number of people that spoke very highly about you. So I want to talk shop here in a matter of moments with you, but I'm going to give you a broad question.
Okay.
How have you seen Charlottesville and Central Virginia from a real estate standpoint change or evolve? Anywhere you want to go on that topic.
Okay. Changing and evolving, I'd say, with technology and the way in which we do business. We live our lives at home. We interact with people. The needs of the technology in our household has changed, as well as obviously 2020, the big elephant in the room with homeschooling, work Zoom calls, making sure that people have the space and the means to do the things they need to do to keep their lives on pace as much as possible in a normal term, has really affected the way that homes are designed, the layouts are desired, and where you can get high-speed internet and proper functionality of being able to do your normal life with your home life. So that really I've seen in the last year changed dramatically. And of course, price points, desirable locations, multi-generational family living, all of that is really blended into what we now see as a desirable home for people.
What do we do about this issue here? We have a coveted area to live. We have amazing, amazing food, as you know. We have amazing things to do outside. We have University of Virginia here. We have music. We have a coveted place to live. We do not have enough inventory. We have historically low mortgage rates, and we want people that want to live here from outside Charlottesville and Central Virginia. How are we going to keep this place affordable? Because I'm seeing year over year, every year I've been here 20 years, every year I've lived here, this place has gotten more expensive to live.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, of course, so I'm involved, again, coming from a lower income household and really seeing my mom struggle to keep a roof over her head and good school districts. So it's really critically important. I own multiple investment properties as well as my primary home, and I'm on the board at a Turtle Creek Condos. I've been on the board for over 6 years and owned in there for over 16 years. So the Thomas Jefferson Community Land Trust and Piedmont Housing Authority are really, really fantastic programs. And I was fortunate enough, my neighbor is executive director of Susan, shout out to you, of the Thomas Jefferson Community Land Trust. And we had a really, really awesome fundraiser, and we did King Family Vineyard. They were gracious enough and provided an immensely beautiful setting for us to have a charity poker game. My team, hoorah, actually we raised through social media and asking our friends and family and our community really to come together. All together we raised $57,000 to go towards buying land and helping with construction and building homes for people who qualify for this great program.
That's amazing. The Thomas Jefferson Community Land Trust is the best option for keeping this area affordable, and it's not even close. The land trust here in Charlottesville, Thomas Jefferson, the first land trust, Susan taught me this, in Virginia history. Maggie Walker in Richmond was the second one. Susan Steinmart, thank you for that tidbit. All right, I'm going to run the gauntlet with you, and I know that sounds super intimidating for you, Candace, but I think you're going to crush this here. It's going to be real estate-specific questions. Give me the first thing that comes to mind for you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. In Central Virginia, which pocket or little corridor or area do you think is set to boom the most over the next 12 to 24 months?
Well, keeping it fairly local, of course. Waynesboro has had an increase of new construction. I believe primarily because the overall comprehensive growth plan has expanded and opened. Louisa is doing phenomenal work in expansion of their growth plan as well as commercial. And where there are jobs, there are people needing to live and able to afford to live. So Louisa is really promoting bringing in small business, a lot of programs with enabling affordability for small business to expand and thrive, which following that comes more residential growth. And, statistically, it's always been said that for every 2 homes sold, there's a job created, because there are so many people that are intricately involved and needed for a home to be sold, new construction, resale, contractors, inspectors, appraisers. It really, I love being a part of a community. And the Charlottesville, Albemarle, Louisa, Greene, Fluvanna, Nelson, we all really work together as a community. So Louisa's growing, of course, with Brook Hill coming in just south of
Greene.
Yeah,
northern Albemarle.
Yes. So tons of development opportunity, commercial, residential, schools. So there's going to be a lot of push for those types of markets once that happens. But of course, anytime there's new construction, it means resale homes are going to come up. So the lack of inventory, if we look at the local market updates, of course, across the board, lack of inventory is an issue. But now that we've had our economic summit as well, our interest rates are going to stay low. Our demand for buyers are going to maintain high. Pricing on materials has somewhat leveled out enough for us to foresee what's going to happen. But new construction, they're steadily getting permits. They're steady working on developing land and getting homes out there. So really, there's a lot of ability, and we forecast that this spring, all the people that in 2020 were kind of hesitant are going to be excited to be able to relocate, put their homes on the market. We see a lot of travel from larger cities coming into, even though Charlottesville is a massive city in its own right, we're still a nice small town with connected communities. And we really do have so much to offer, like you said, healthcare,
it's a hot spot.
Education. Oh, it's amazing. I love it.
Let's not forget Smoked is here.
Of course. Where else do you want to eat? Smoked barbecue, kitchen and tap in Crozet.
All right. We had to get that plug in there. You did it exceptionally well. Very genuinely right there. Her man may or not be the owner of that fabulous restaurant that we absolutely love. I freaking love the man in the restaurant. All right. A couple more things I'm going to throw to you here. We're going to have Peter Castiglione, the co-owner of Maya Restaurant. He's coming in right behind you. You know I like food just like you, Candace. All right. Yes. So everybody wants to know where the Next Crozet is going to happen, and they want to be on the bottom floor of the Next Crozet. The median sales price, I was just looking at the Crozet Gazette and in the car report for Q3, the median sales price in Crozet is astronomically high. It was not the case a handful of years ago, maybe 10 years ago. Where do you think is the Next Crozet, Candace?
I'd say, the revitalization of Forest Lakes, Hollymead, Brook Hill. Wow. I really believe that. And Louisa, again, Zion's Crossroads, commercial, residential, booming. They've done the right infrastructure. A number of years ago, they put the money where it needed to be. The schools, really getting in the high-speed internet capabilities, and the infrastructure was such a critical part of development for the future outlook. So I'd say, bringing back to life our Forest Lakes area, south of Ruckersville community, as well as Louisa, is where I'm seeing a lot of welcome development and growth.
You're on fire right now. Another question for you. If you had $300,000 to $500,000 and you're a real estate investor, Where are you advising your real estate investors to put their money?
Honestly, looking into Ruckersville, Albemarle County, North, Earlysville, Ruckersville, stretching into Greene, going into those areas. NJIG is still always a hot spot. North Garden, Covesville area, stretching into Esmont and in Scottsville. There are all these really great undeveloped pieces that I believe are going to be coming up. If you want a little bit more elbow room to maintain elbow room, I'd go south of town. If you want to be in more of a community type of a closer knit feel, I'd go north of town.
Okay, final question for you. You're killing this. Last question for you. Candice, your prediction for the 2021 market?
Awesome.
You think it's going to be awesome?
I think it's going to, it's so interesting at the start of, in February and March, I know there were a lot of business owners and realtors going, what's going to happen? And then we have just been steady busy. I've seen it across all types of markets that real estate has just been incredibly busy in times where we did not anticipate that. So I'd say, again, keeping up with education, promoting, in our economic summit, we were talking about it, really promoting and growing job skills and laborers, masons and contractors and people who are really talented and honing in these skills. There's a lack of employees and there's a lack of affordable housing. I want to plug in again that, working with these programs in the Thomas Jefferson Community Land Trust and Piedmont Housing Authority and getting people educated to be able to afford to improve their home and lifestyle. Also, if you do have a home or you do have land and you want to donate it, there are huge tax advantages to this. And there are massive benefits strategically if you're able to do so. And it helps the community. So it's like a win-win, definitely.
You said you were nervous. You hit a grand slam. I mean...
Well, you brought it out of me. You're amazing. You just hyped me up.
You were so good. It's like you did as well as your kids taking swimming lessons in the ACAC pool, because I see them from time to time over there.
I want to play you sometime. You're intimidating, but
Racquetball?
I want to get out on the... Yeah, totally.
Man, you were awesome. Seriously. Give props to your man. You crushed this. You were truly an ambassador for the Land Trust and just a pleasure to chat with. I wish you all the best. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. And Christian said, get Top Notch on. I've got to take my PC to him today.
Yeah, should I? Oh, I should? He's the owner of Top Notch, right?
He is. Okay. He is. That's great.
You very strategically and authentically have done three plugs for Smoked, for Christian, and for the Land Trust, and it all came out very easily and naturally in this interview. Nicely done, Candace.
Thank you, Jerry. Love what you do. Thank you so much for being here and having me on.
Thank you. Same. Back at you. You have a good one.
Thanks. You too,
okay.
man.
Judah, I'm going to slide chairs. My friend and his lovely daughter are in the studio. Are you guys ready to do this? I need to get a mask too, Judah. If you can hand me that black mask that's on my desk, and I'm going to slide over here. Lulu, you remember what we did last time? We're going to do this here with Peter. We can also get you a chair if you want, Lulu. Do we want a chair for her? I mean, your dancing pretty much compelled the audience. Okay, cool. Judah, do you have it on studio camera? Why don't we put it on studio camera? That way we can get Peter and Lulu on set here. I'm going to slide over here, Peter. You guys are over here. Oh, yeah. Bring them on. Are those your doing?
That's one of my paintings, but it's the collective. Everybody's bringing them in.
I love it.
This is what we're putting up between the table when people eat.
Bring it on set.
I'd really like to promote.
Please. Go studio camera. We'll get them over here.
Promote some goodwill about indoor dining.
All right, so Peter Castiglione and his lovely daughter Lulu for mayor, in the house right now. He's got some art. I like that shirt, Lulu.
Thank you. It's my school's.
Very nice.
We're the BME Bobcats. We're in the Maroon Bobcats, so.
I can't hear what you're saying. Why don't we we'll get everything set up.
Today was a parade, like in cars, and so the teachers would pass by in neighborhoods, so I just wore the Bobcat spirit.
Awesome. Why don't we get you close to the microphone so we can hear what you have to say, Lulu? And we got to get Peter in there. I like your mask, Peter.
Oh, thanks.
You're looking slim and trim, my friend.
Oh, thanks. Stress.
Stress?
Absolutely.
You know what? I'm going to get them both on mic. Peter, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody and I'll get you on mic.
Are we live?
We're live.
Okay,
People
cool.
are watching you.
All right.
I made these-
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I left my regular glasses in the car. It'll be sunglasses to see or no glasses and blind. I've never done an interview blind before.
Well, you
We're gonna try it.
Do whatever you want. You got swagger for days, my friend. You can do whatever. You can
Swagger
pull it
for
off.
days.
All right, so why don't we do this? Peter Castiglione is the co-owner of one of my absolute favorite restaurants, Maya Restaurant on West Main. In a lot of ways, his brand and business have built Midtown. Now, there are other that have helped, but Maya Restaurant has led the charge. You have a lot of your colleagues and friends watching. So, Peter, where do we want to begin? Every day is a different day here in COVID, isn't it, my friend?
It really is. And I guess the last time we spoke, excuse me while I do this, I'm looking for the name of the artist that's on one of these paintings.
The last time
There she is. Okay. I want to make sure I get that right when we talk about it.
Other side one. Right?
Other side one, yep. Last time we spoke, we did some predilecting about how things were going to be once we got to November and December.
And you pretty much predicted it.
Well, we talked about it and we thought maybe we knew what was going on after doing this for 20-some years. And last week, especially since the election, but last week it started getting cold. You know, there's some nights in the low 40s. It's 7:30 and it's 43 degrees outside. I think that across the board, at least in our Belmont to Corner District, through Midtown and Downtown Mall, I think sales fell off of 40-50% from an already 40-50% versus what we were used to. So for the first time since we started seating our patio, we realized that in the last 2 weeks of business that we probably are $15,000 in the hole just like that. Just like that. Everybody really is working their to-go food and what sit-down business we can do with limited hours and outdoor dining and some indoor seating. And so it was just like the hammer just fell all of a sudden. And we knew it was coming. It's something to talk about it, and then it's something else when you see your bank account suddenly dwindle and
Sure.
and you realize that that you've got to go readjust your payroll again and reconsider the entire model you just been building and finally feeling good about. So scary times for us sit-down businesses that need the dining.
So what's the plan?
Well,
What do we do?
We're moving inside as of maybe next week. We haven't done it yet. I know a lot of restaurants have already been seating indoors, and we've been talking to a lot of those restaurants to figure out the things that they do to keep people safe. And we're implementing those. That's what these, we made these table tents. A friend of mine built the bases, and the Creative Arts Collective has come out of the woodwork, dropping off these 30 by 40 paintings as we set up our dining room now indoors, upstairs, side room. We have a stoplight that tells you to stop and go up the stairs, so people don't have to cross paths. And when you sit down, we want everybody to really feel that they can be in their own dining zone and be safe. What's that?
I never saw
The stop sign? Yeah, it hasn't arrived from Amazon yet, but it should be here.
You got to stop. That's brilliant. That's good.
Why
So
did
it's
you
either
say you
stop
already
signs
had it?
well, it's on the way. Once it's paid for, it's ours.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. It's in the mail.
But the idea is, when people are about to leave from upstairs to go, that, they'll see that there's a red light, and they'll know to wait so that we can see who's coming up the stairs running food or if we're going to go seat another customer. So all these little things that we're really trying to implement to express to the people out there in the public that like to support restaurants, the ones that are coming out now and dining on the patio, that when we do move operations inside, like we have people are installing air scrubbers in their HVAC systems. We have air purifiers with the UV ones, and we have one of those in each dining zone to try to keep the air clean. And we feel that as long as everybody washes their hands and wears their mask when they come and go and engage with our staff, that we should be just fine.
I feel the same.
Yeah, and it really getting more and more confident. It's funny, as the national numbers seem to skyrocket and surge, because of the brilliant job our national, the federal government did managing the parent. It's unbelievable.
I'm sensing sarcasm from my friend.
But it's really amazing because Charlottesville is like this island.
It's an island,
in the
right?
middle of everything.
Charlottesville Tomorrow had that article.
I read the article, and we stay in touch with people at UVA, and we in the restaurant industry have people that are researchers and doctors, and we're getting the same information. We feel like what's coming from the state and what's being written by the CVille Tomorrow is accurate. And that's great, as long as everybody wears their mask and washes their hands and sanitizes. We feel like the indoor dining experience for the restaurants in Charlottesville that are working hard to keep it safe, it should be just fine.
All right, let me throw this to you guys. Peter Castiglione in studio, his wonderful daughter Lulu for mayor in studio as well. She's got a super cool mask on. Susan Steinmart is watching. She says, I'm gonna come inside and eat at Maya restaurant. I'll wear my mask except when I'm eating. We will see you soon. That's from Susan Steinmart, who's watching the show. Vanessa Parkhill's watching. She says, great creative solutions from Maya. We look forward to being patrons yet again at your restaurant. Vanessa Parkhill, good afternoon. Thank you for watching the show. What did you make of the governor's announcement? It was a week ago today.
Yeah, when it first came out, everybody scrambled. The 25 people, we didn't know. One of our restaurant owners called the governor's office. And
it was Tristan.
Ben. Well, Tristan and Ben, yeah. Over at Oakhart.
And Little Star.
Yeah, and the information they originally got was worrisome. But it turned out that the person in the governor's office was not accurate. So ultimately, I think for most of us, small business mom and pops, it didn't really do much to affect what we're doing already. Half capacity, 50%, 6 feet apart. We don't do gatherings of more than 25 people. Even if you come to Maya and you have a reservation for 12, we put you at one table of 6, and then 6 feet away at another table of 6. We don't seat more than 6 or maybe 8 people if the group is right on the patio at one table. That's supposed to stop at 10. I think what it really did do was catering businesses.
Weddings. It killed them.
Yeah, I know some people had a lot of food in their refrigerator for lots of weddings that weekend, and it went into effect at 11:59. And I know that that was a big loss for a lot of people not being able to hold a big event. Now that being said, big events with lots of people, even we at the restaurant, we did a couple rehearsal dinners in the last couple of months. Hey, there's 37 of you. We're going to spread you out on the patio. Just a bunch of 6 tops, and instead of doing regular service, sure, you can buy the patio out and try your best to enjoy a rehearsal dinner in these times. And it's really hard to get a group of people that are part of a celebration to sit down, keep their mask on, not mingle about, not walk over with their mask off after having a couple of cocktails and ask for something else from your server. So it's really tricky to work big parties. It really is. So I can see where the governor's coming from, and I feel really bad for the catering companies and whatnot that just took a really big hit. Because I think a lot of us are still just working on borrowed money.
Right, of course.
There was PPP, then there was idle loans. Now, I guarantee the majority of us are all sitting back and waiting to see if our Rebuild Virginia grants come through.
You're talking about, is that essentially the Restaurant Cares Act?
This is
Peter Castiglione, our guest. That's his daughter, Lulu.
Hey.
Brad Langdon is watching in Washington, D.C., former barkeep at Public. He says,
great.
hey, Peter.
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you. You have 4 states watching you. Grace put on the feed. I'm going to come into Maya restaurant with our family to enjoy a meal this weekend. Thank you for going above and beyond to keep us safe, Mr. Castiglione.
Hey,
I don't want to speak for Peter, but I think he prefers Peter as opposed to Mr. Castiglione.
It doesn't matter. As long as it's not derogatory, you can call me anything you want. We're not going to start seating inside until next week. This weekend is still outdoor seating, but we're
still on the
patio. The weather looks pretty good this weekend. It was nice. We're running the heaters. We hung up some Lulu and I hung up some colorful banners today to make the patio look prettier.
Very nice. We did.
But as we start taking reservations for the future, the week of Thanksgiving, next Monday, the days after Thanksgiving, we are going to start allowing people to make reservations to come indoors. So whoever said that, if you're coming this weekend, we're going to keep you out on the patio and keep you warm.
Can someone come in off the streets to Maya?
Sometimes it works.
Okay.
Sometimes it just so happens that somebody needs a seat. And it's in one of our seating times, and we can talk to them about wearing a mask and the arrangements that we need. But we prefer to know you're coming. We prefer to map it out. We prefer to say, hey, you have a reservation at 5:30. That means we have another reservation at 7:45. So you have an hour and a half to eat because we need 15 minutes to sanitize, let the sanitizer dry.
There's plenty of time.
Clean. So but we want you to know, because you might be like, we were really expecting to have like a 2.5 hour thing. Aunt so-and-so is just a chatty Cathy, and it's a really special moment. And we'd be like, look, we just prefer that you go somewhere else where you can stay for 2.5 hours and not be upset with us. So we like to do the reservation thing so that we can really discuss with everybody what we expect from them and what they can expect from us. Because I tell you what, and everybody's feeling the same thing right now. Reviews, online reviews, Yelp, Google, whatever people use.
People are being mean?
Man, I tell you what, you know how I feel about reviews. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
I think that the whole review system is completely subjective and is nothing more than a business that extorts money from the restaurants through libel.
That's totally true. He's basically saying, can I say it? This isn't coming from him, this is coming from me, but he's exactly right. Yelp is extorting businesses and basically saying, we will push up your favorable reviews so more people see it if you give us money. If you don't give us money, we're going to push up your negative reviews. That's why Yelp is getting sued, class action lawsuit, all over the country if you just do a basic Google search.
They're the worst. But
They are the worst.
But everybody does it. And at one point, OpenTable was just a platform to do reservations. Then the reviews came in. And if ultimately we see on TripAdvisor and Yelp and OpenTable that we have 4.7 stars and we're always in the top.
That's great.
10%. Yeah, but we never respond to a negative review. Because if somebody writes something, it could be that they're just in a bad mood that day. It's COVID times. You know what some of our negative reviews have been recently?
The food didn't come fast enough?
No, the servers seem like they were just going through the motions. Now, we are, at Maya, have always been a relationship kind of place. You come in, we become friends, we want to know, and we like to, if we have time, with a tiny staff that can barely get your order in and get your food to your table while we're sanitizing and cleaning with 4 people, we would love to take that extra time to learn about your day and whether you're here for the hospital or you're here for UVA or whether you just came and went to a distillery and which whiskeys you liked. And usually we can do that. But these days, the goal is not to over-communicate, not to breathe on each other, to let you get your mask off and enjoy your meal. You're supposed to be distant. And so it's just a really interesting spot because we can see everybody's getting worn out by the whole COVID thing. And people are testier, and they get upset about smaller things. And on the flip side, we do too. We're out there doing it, and then somebody decides to pop an attitude about a mask or something else while we're sitting there, or roll their eyes, and we're just like them, like we're stressed about it too. So I'm just hoping that people that like to do reviews, whether they're good or bad, take a deep breath before you write the review. Everybody's working with the mask on in the kitchen, and we got rubber gloves, and we're happy that you're there, but we can't be your best friend like we used to be until we get a vaccine and things go back to normal. Right. So the idea that people would defame or libel and trash the business through a social media platform and a review site is
disturbing.
It's the nature of the beast. But it's hard. And here's the biggest thing. I tell everybody, never respond to a negative review, and they will go away. Because if we don't respond back,
you're not engaging with them.
I can't believe you gave us 1 star or 2 stars. Oh, you said the food was great, but somebody was short with you and you gave us 3 stars instead of 5, Or you said your food was overcooked when I sat there and watched you talk on your phone for 20 minutes before you sat down to eat it and now it's cold. I mean, you can't have these discussions over a platform. And if you respond, then they're like, ooh, now I got to respond.
Yeah, then it's a conversation.
It creates drama in conversation, and therein lies all the value.
Right, and that's what they want.
And that's what they want. Therefore, we don't respond unless if you call us or you send us an email, we'll be like, hey, gosh, thanks for telling us. Like, if we have a problem, even if it's just one problem one night from something silly or a systemic issue in the way we do things, we need to know about it and correct it.
Chef Johnny Garver giving you some props, the co-owner of Pronto on the UVA corner. Ken Moon is agreeing with you. Reviews, it's easy. Get someone to say something negative. And yes, Yelp is a scam. Susan is saying the best bartender in Charlottesville is at Maya Restaurant, and her name is Lisa Morse.
Lisa.
So she's getting some props
Lisa.
today on the show.
Lisa.
Lulu.
We love Lisa.
Lulu
Lisa.
loves Lisa as well. All right, so this question is what everybody is asking. How do we make it through winter, and what does it look like on the other side of these cold months, Peter?
I mean, I'll be honest, I was starting to talk about that Rebuild Virginia grant. And, I know there are other operations that are, like, we've built our staff back up. We're really happy to have so many people working full time. We've got a full kitchen staff because we were doing enough to-go food and enough sit-down business on the patio when the weather was nice to justify that payroll liability. Because we want our people to be paid through the winter. But what happened the last 2 weeks? Like, if we don't get over the weather changing and the election and the fear of surging cases nationally and get back to this baseline that had kind of fallen into our laps here in the last couple of months, and I don't know, because if we don't get another grant, all of us, for $25,000, $74,000, $100,000, this Rebuild Virginia grant, you have to submit your payroll receipts and your utility receipts and your rents and your health insurance premium bills to them ahead of time. And then they'll look at it, go through your application. I mean, it takes forever. Some people have been waiting for 4 weeks now. We haven't even heard whether their application is queued up. We think they are, but without that grant money, I don't know, Jerry. I'll be honest with you. I don't see how we could make it from
And you're
now.
thinking Maya.
I'm just talking about Maya.
Yeah.
And when I'm talking about Maya, I know that I'm in communication with 40 other restaurants on the daily, and some of them have catering businesses. There are a lot of restaurants, and some of them are bigger and smaller and have smaller staffs. But as a median, I think we're probably right there in the center. So if we're feeling it, more than likely, they're feeling it as well. Like we're up to employing like 19 to 21 people again. It was 13, 14, things built up. So cuts are going to have to come on our end as we move forward, and savings are going to have to be found from somewhere, or the customer base that is.
Where's the jacket?
What's that?
Where's the jacket? I guess you're not having outside seating anymore, right?
We
Is
do.
that what
No,
you will?
No, we're still outside
Through the
seating.
winter.
We're going to leave the tent up with the propane heater and the 2 radiant heaters in the ceiling. We put some plastic up in a spot where air was coming in, and we'll leave it there. I think the Skyline tent guys, who have been fantastic ever since this started, very generous with the fees and the way they're working with us. They're not going to charge us a full price to keep it up in January, February, but they will work with us if we can keep it up, because there are warm days in January.
Sure.
And if people come and they're like, hey, we've got a jacket on, we know it's cold out, but with the heater, we don't mind sitting under the tent, we'll do our best to do that. But again, if we have a busy night and all of a sudden I'm taking reservations only, and somebody comes in and says, oh, we only want to sit outside, and I have 2 servers,
Yeah.
and 1 manager and Lisa behind the bar, it's like, you can sit out there, but it might take me 20 minutes to get to you. So it's an interesting spot, and I really don't know the answer. And I won't until we keep trying to seal up the tent for cold air and see what the weather's going to be like and see what people want to do.
Your daughter's getting props. Lulu, you ready for this? Carrie Davis is watching. We love Carrie on the show. Carrie Davis says, you're looking great, Lulu, with a purple heart emoji. Stephen Coppinger, I'm going to get to your comment. Stephen says, my family loves Maya. We will do whatever it takes to help Maya as a family survive through the winter, including doing as much takeout food as possible.
Hey, great.
Please pass that along to Peter.
Thank
Questions coming in for Lulu. Lulu, can I throw you questions?
Yes.
Okay. Lulu, first, how old are you?
I'm 8.5, and I'm going to turn 9 in February.
So you're going to be 9 years old in February. What grade are you in?
I'm in 3rd grade.
3rd grade. That is awesome. So questions for you, Lulu, is how is school going in COVID?
It's okay. Online schooling's a bit, it's not as fun as being there in person because I I don't always get to see all of my friends at recess because they're all in different classes, but and I miss hugging people. I like
Me
to.
too.
People called me the hug monster because I'd keep hugging people
That's a good
unintendedly.
quality. That's a good quality. Do you feel like you're learning as much via virtual school?
Yeah, we're learning a lot. We are learning. We're learning as much. It's just sometimes the transitions are kind of not as easy as the transitions in real school.
And we just got the map, all the kids in third grade, and just took the map test recently.
Really? I'm sure
Yeah.
she aced it.
She did very well.
Yeah.
We're very happy looking at last year to this year and last semester to this semester. And I think that they are still getting the knowledge that they need to keep up with these standardized testing and the things that show us.
Are they learning more?
No. I
No?
don't think they're learning more unless all the stuff they learn on YouTube is more, right? I mean, they're in front of a computer all day, and trust me, the minute you turn around and go away, and then there's a chance that
Back on
they're
YouTube?
back on YouTube.
Bruno Moon is giving you props, Lulu. You have a lot of fans on this show. Bruno Moon says, "Oh, the hug monster." That's a great nickname from Bruno Moon. Talk to me. Let me throw this to you. Anywhere you want to go on this topic, Lulu. Maya Restaurant. What does Maya Restaurant mean to you?
It means a lot. The food's really good.
It is.
But it means a lot because everybody there is working really, really hard to be keeping people safe, and they're still learning, and like kids are. But everybody's still learning, and everybody's trying to be safe, even though sometimes if you don't like it, you have to do things that aren't really in your comfort zone, and you have to just go out and explore and be adventurous and do something unexpected. And COVID's also being kind of nice, making people go outside more and realize more about nature and more fun. And I'm getting outside a lot, and it's a good opportunity going outside because, well, it's outside.
Yeah, you're doing something different. That was phenomenal.
The hug monster always finds a silver lining. I'm so proud of
Yeah.
her.
Hug Monster, you could be in my friend
And what
group.
did-
I like positive people.
What did we do right before we came over here? We went over to the restaurant, and she helped me.
I helped him put up these curtains on the patio because there's like this tent and it's plastic and it doesn't look that pretty, just plain plastic. So
So you put up some curtains.
Yeah,
We hung some colored curtains down the side to try to
green,
doll it up a little bit.
Yellow and white.
Yep.
The order was white, yellow, green, blue.
And she got the order right for me. Trust me, the order was just where it needed to be.
Lulu, you're amazing. You're 8.5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your dad.
He's the best
Oh, he is a good guy.
because
I
he's
love
a good dad, and he always makes me happy because he always knows what I like, and we're actually making these things called Shrinky Dinks. We're making these together. My dad made.
This is
This one.
Dad's Shrinky Dink. That would be me
This is him
free falling through space with my feet behind me.
What is that made out of? Hold it still on the camera here. They're looking at this.
The incredible
Laura
Shrinky.
Monk just wrote this. I could watch Lulu on this show for hours.
The incredible shrinking plastic called Shrinky Dinks, which you can actually get at Michael's or any art store.
Yeah, we used to do Shrinky Dinks when I was a kid.
And
This goes back to like the 50s.
Just you
Really?
can follow the instructions, but alcohol-based pens, they all work. You got to put them in the oven and they shrink. Here's one. It's a monkey and a tropical smoothie, blue raspberry, pineapple.
It's really
I
cool,
forgot
Lulu.
you. Oh yeah, your cherry.
Tell-
This
tell
is
him-
a
tell him what
lime.
this one is.
I made this one, but I made most of these.
Which one
except
is
for
this?
the Free falling. Okay.
Is that Tom Petty?
This
Is that what that was?
This is a hamburger.
Oh, okay. Here.
More like a ham
I think this is every restaurant owner in town,
Oh,
just without a parachute or a backpack, just hoping that they land on something soft. Yes.
Peter's got jokes today. All right, so here's a good question for you guys. What can we do to help?
I think you can spread
Lulu, good job.
the word to people that are having a conversation in their backyard over the fire pit after taking their kids out from school on Friday about, what do you think? Should we go to a restaurant? Is it safe? I just don't want to go sit inside. If the people that are comfortable try to massage the other people that are on the fence to give it a try. You can always go to somebody's website or call ahead of time and say, hey, what are you guys doing? Do you have UV purifiers in the room? How far? Can you send me a picture of where I might be sitting? Happy to do it. Whatever we can do to generate goodwill and a positive attitude about having an indoor dining experience over the next 3 or 4 months, so that you can come out and get great food and some service that may not be quite as friendly as it used to be, but will still be good. Some delicious food, have a night out, and help us support our businesses and all the people that work in the business. We really need, the whole goal to come here today was kind of be like, okay guys, we talked about it. Yep, it's getting scarier for us. We are moving dining indoors, and we want you to know that we wouldn't do it and put our people in harm's way if we didn't have 5 months of this under our belt.
Yeah.
And we weren't confident that that it would be a safe environment to come back out and support the restaurant.
They got practice. Meyer Restaurant's the real deal. I want to get the art on screen.
I just want to can we
Okay.
show people how it works?
How should we do it, Judah? Should we put it in the center chair? Is that the best way? If we put it in the center, he can put a camera on it.
The center of the table?
Yeah, in the center here.
Oh.
Oh, on the center of the table, Judah? All right, on the center of the table.
All right, let's see if we
Yeah.
can do it without knocking anything over.
I'm with you here.
So basically, we'll kind of tilt like that for now.
Yeah, we're gonna get you on there.
And we'll say Lulu's having dinner over here. That table's about
Yum, yummy.
only 6 feet long.
Let's give him a mic. Give us the play-by-play and a mic.
Ooh, this peanut butter pecan pie.
So this is what they're doing at Maya. This is innovating right here.
So I think basically, let's assume Lulu's here with Dad, and we're sitting down and having dinner at our table.
Okay.
And then you've got a table 6 feet away on that side, and we're inside in the dining room upstairs.
Okay.
And so in between your dining table and mine, we'll just have these table tents
That is
set up
brilliant.
So that while you're sitting here, and there's a table over there, let's say I stand up and sneeze, or somebody walks by too close, or somebody's over here having a loud conversation with their mask off, and you're like, man, this guy's projecting. At least you have a barrier between you inside, and it's not just a piece of plastic.
It's beautiful.
And most of the art will have the name of the artist and a price on it, and it's all part of the Creative Arts Collective. We have 16 of these now, and I think we have 4 more coming. So that's 2 per tent.
I love it. People are asking to see it. Keep
Oh
going.
yeah,
This is
okay, yeah.
great.
So this was the first one that was brought in. This is from Lily. This I think is a painting of the cemetery that she and her partner got married in or fell in love in. Nothing like artists getting married and falling in love in cemeteries.
Wow.
And this was the first one that was brought in by the collective.
This is brilliant.
It's fun. And Bruno Mars, who's been sending in stuff about Lulu.
That's the artist?
No, he brought us this awesome butterfly. This one, the artist's name is Lily, and I don't know her last name.
That's what this one is?
That's what that is. This one is just a.
This is a pour painting.
This is a pour painting.
You
And,
can get like these pour painting paints.
Tell us in the microphone. In the microphone.
yeah.
This is a pour painting. You can get like these pour painting paints at Michael's, like the incredible shrinking plastic Shrinky Dinks. Anyway,
Daddy likes to pour paint.
Okay, you can pour paint and you can like just move the paint around. It comes in all sorts of colors.
Did you do this one, Lulu?
No, my dad made that one, but I've made a lot of pour
Peter is a
paintings.
fabulous artist. So does Lulu.
But the thing about this is these are fun, but we have so many different artists, and everybody has their own style.
Uh-huh.
And so we'll have lots of different artwork and artists. You could even be at your table like, hey, I really like that one. Can I either sit over there or will you move the table 10 over here? And I'd be like, sure.
So it's in between the tables.
It's going to be on a table.
On a table. That's
In between
brilliant.
tables, so that when you sit down,
So-
you've got a little zone to sit.
so-
You'll have one on one side.
You can see
You
like
know,
the
and one-
amazing
Like a stall.
art. You
Yeah.
can see amazing.
And it's,
you can see the
That was
art.
your idea, wasn't it?
It was actually, it was a collective idea, but I believe Melanie Barnum, who works with us, was the
Melanie!
first person to bring it up. And then Regina and I were talking about it while we were painting one night. And then my buddy Mike Kleppinger, who's a wood artisan, was the one that we built the first couple prototypes to slide them in. But they'll be for sale. And some of the artists, such as me, like I'd never thought anybody would want to buy anything I ever painted.
Yeah, what are you going to do when someone says, I'll give you $250 for
Yeah,
this?
yeah. Well, you put a price on it, and if it's one of mine, half the money will go straight to our restaurant staff, and the other half will go to pay for the paint and another canvas to do it again. So some artists have big price tags on them, some are small. The artist can keep the money or not, and some of the artists have decided that they would share any sort of purchases. But I think most people are just happy to get their canvases out of their house and
Yeah.
make space for another one.
Sure.
And to share, to share their mind and their art with the community. And what better than in a restaurant where there are 4 to 6 people sitting down beside your artwork every day, 7 days a week.
Bruno Moon says, I have another painting coming to Maya this week. Dining room art gallery. It's beautiful art instead of ugly plastic. Laura's watching and she says, this is an absolutely genius and creative idea to create confidence inside the restaurant.
Well, that's what we're trying to do. And, maybe some of these artists will sell some paintings and that will allow them to, go out and buy the paint and the canvases they need to do another one. And the artwork will go to somebody's house. Maybe the crows and the cemetery means something to somebody, and then that just takes them back to that dining experience they had at Maya Restaurant during COVID times.
They get to come back.
And
COVID time.
It's a positive spin. It's a win-win.
Lulu, you are awesome. I think Lulu
Thank
needs
you.
her own show on this network here. All right, why don't we do this? How about a final word? People look up to you in this community. Is he on screen? Does he need to slide over? Because people need to hear this man's voice. He's good.
I'm
All
good?
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Final word for everyone that's watching. Got a lot of scared people here.
Support the restaurants. For the restaurant owners that are out there now, if you're paying attention to this and you're feeling what Chef and I are feeling over at Maya, let's keep our fingers crossed for those Virginia rebuild grants, and let's just keep buckling down and doing what we need to do, keeping our people paid, and hope that that this new indoor experiment during the wintertime, getting dark at 5:30, flu season, that we somehow find a baseline with our customers, just like we did back in April, and that it slowly builds in a positive direction. And we're in a valley now. We're at the bottom of the bell curve, so let's hope that things start to slide back up and people start to get more comfortable, and that we can rely on our to-go food and our curbside pickup and our delivery and our indoor super safe creative art collective fun ways to go out and eat to carry us over the bridge into vaccine time in the spring.
I think if this is worth anything, the ones that, and you will, because you're a star and Christian's a star, the ones that survive are going to be the ones that are going to have the best years of their history next year and the year after. We got to get to that point.
That's the kind of positive thinking that I'll be happy to take home with me, Jerry. Thanks for saying that. We would like to think so.
You're getting a lot of props. Lulu, you're getting a lot of props.
So,
Anything you want to say, Lulu, before we go?
in the beginning of COVID, when it was curbside pickup at the beginning of COVID, I made up this funny, so I was biking and my dad was like, there has to be this saying that we put on the website. So I was thinking, and then I was like, it's to-go food or no food.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good tagline. In my business, that's called a tagline or a call to action.
Thank you.
It was a good call.
That's
to action.
great. That's good copywriting right there, Lulu.
I get a lot of good ideas from Lulu.
I can tell. I mean, she's
And-
the
and
star of the show.
If you ever need somebody to hang up colored curtains in your patios,
Lulu's the person.
She'll do it for a Mad Mango. She'll come in and get all your colors straight, make sure everything is perfectly spaced.
What do you want to do when you grow up, Lulu? What do you want to be?
I want to to be an actress or a vet because I
love animals.
Yeah, because I love animals. So in school, we were working on these documents. If you could create a monument on something, what would you create it on? And mine was for my dog Phoebe, and it would be called the Brave Phoebe, because she's really brave. The meaning of the monument is that you should look more into your pets. They're more than just things that'll be there when you're sad, which they are, but they're more than that. They're brave animals who want to protect you no matter what, big or small, fat or thin, or anything. Lazy or energetic, anything, any animal is your guardian. So you should be thankful for any animal you have. Even if they ignore you, you should still love them and think and have and be with them as much as you can, because animals don't live as long as humans do.
So we're going to make a monument to Phoebe?
But the point is, my dog Phoebe is the bravest animal I've ever met. Once in Christmas, she almost died. She had to have a humongous surgery.
Uh-oh. But she's okay.
Yeah, she's okay, and I was really relieved, and I'd like to give her so many hugs, and...
Scott Williams says we need
I
a
love her.
Lulu show immediately. 5 different people have put Lulu for mayor on the street right now. Seriously.
We still have the stickers on the car.
I think I have
and
the
restaurants.
sticker over
Yeah,
there.
they're fun. They're fun. We're having fun with that. Yeah.
Hey, Lulu, you're a breath of fresh air. You're going to change the world. She's 8.5 years old, people. You are going to change the world. And Peter, you're A-plus people.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate you letting us come on and share.
Anytime you want.
Okay, good.
Seriously, sincerely mean that.
Thank you, everybody that supports the restaurant industry. We love you, and we really appreciate all you do for us.
Bye!
I love it. Bye, guys. J-Dubs, you want to help them out, and I'll dot the I's and close the... why don't you put it on studio camera for us, J-Dubs? Oh, you're a good man. I'll do it from right here. I love these guys. Love Peter. Lulu, you were fantastic. Maya Restaurant is one of the absolute best in the area. Another person just put in the feed, Lulu for mayor. Lulu, you did a heck of a job. Let me know when you need a takeover for me when I go on vacation. You can host the show, okay? She says, okay. She loves it. She loves the camera, Peter.
She loves the camera.
She loves the camera.
Give her a camera right here, then
She would be a great actress. I love you guys. Have a good one. Good to see you. Have a good one. Take care. So good. So good. Guys, we have to get to we have to bridge the gap to the vaccine. We have to bridge the gap to the vaccine. And I think we will bridge the gap to the vaccine, but that's what we gotta do. And the next few months are gonna be a challenge for everyone, and certainly restaurants. And if there's any hope, this is a sliver of hope, the ones that are left that make it out of this battle will get even more pie, because unfortunately their competitors will have closed. So maybe that's a sliver of hope, maybe not. Either way, we got to support this industry, because we may not be left with the industry as we know it come March or April. Okay? So that's extremely important. A couple of things I want to get out of the notebook before I get out of here. I'm actually directing a TV commercial this afternoon. UVA has a game against Abilene Christian on Saturday at 4 o'clock. The Who's should go to 4-4. This team is horrible. 4-4, they'll have 3 games left. Their opponents are horrible, not UVA. The team they're playing is absolutely horrible, so much so that Las Vegas has not issued a gambling line for this contest. That's how bad their opponent is, UVA's. The Wahoos will have 3 games left: Florida State, Boston College, and Virginia Tech, after going 4-4 on Saturday. There is a chance they could run the table and finish 7-4, or very worst, have a lot to play for when they go into that matchup on December 12th against Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. Watch this team. It's turning the corner. for the best. Couple more games I want you to pay attention to. Virginia Tech travels to Pittsburgh on Saturday. That's a 4 o'clock kickoff. The Hokies are a 3.5-point favorite. Liberty is 8-0 on the season, 8-0 overall. Liberty from Lynchburg, 22 in the nation right now. And they're traveling the Flames to NC State, where they'll face a Wolfpack team that's a 3.5-point favorite. And from an NFL level, the Cincinnati Bengals are at the Washington football team on Sunday, a 1 o'clock kick on Sunday. Washington, a 1.5-point favorite. We had Dr. Lisa Sturdivant, the chief economist for Virginia Realtors, on the show we do on Friday morning called Real Talk. That interview is archived anywhere you get your podcasts and on ilovecville.com. The interview with Dr. Lisa Sturdivant, the chief economist for Virginia Realtors, was freaking exceptional. If you like economic talk, the supply chain of housing, and the impact of real estate on the Commonwealth of Virginia, it's 20 minutes of golden podcast interview. ilovecville.com for that. I encourage anyone that's watching this program, if you're looking for an idea from a Christmas tree standpoint, and you're looking for a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, something to do with your kids, your wife, your husband outside, Foxfire Christmas Tree Farm in Buckingham County. It's about 45 minutes to an hour from Charlottesville or Albemarle County. It's fantastic. You can cut your own tree down. They provide a saw for you, a wagon where you can pull the tree to. The guys and the staff at Foxfire Christmas Tree Farm loads the Christmas tree in this net and puts it on top of your vehicle for you. It's fantastic. If you're looking for a weekend activity with your kids and your spouse, Foxfire Christmas Tree Farm in Buckingham County is worth the trip. My family then goes to Tavern on the James in Scottsville for lunch and a beer, and then we'll have a capper at James River Brewery before heading home. It's just a great weekend activity with friends and family. I encourage you guys to tune into the Daily Digest. It's the entire show in 5 minutes or less. We do it at 5 o'clock, 5 days a week. This show in 5 minutes or less. It's the I Love CVille Daily Digest. I'm very grateful for everybody watching this program and for tuning in. All we're trying to do on this network, the I Love CVille Network, is to bring approachable content to you that showcases the best of Charlottesville, Virginia. That's the entire concept of the I Love CVille Network. Showcase the best of Charlottesville, Virginia through the eyes of a cautious optimist, me, and through the perspective or the lens of someone that's positive. Okay, it's the antithesis of what you get from a normal newscast. All right, I'm out of here. Jerry Miller, Judah Wickower, for Candice Vanderlyn, Peter Castiglione, Lulu Castiglione. This is the I Love CVille Show. Thank you for joining us, guys. Keep it local, please. Support the restaurants. Please. Take care. Lulu was hilarious, right?
She's,
So well spoken for 8.5.
oh yeah.
I mean, she's 8.5 years old, right?
She's just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. Did you get her on screen?